Hello friends and welcome to my channel Go Digit. Today in this video we will learn about the XML documents. Okay, so the thing is that there are so many systems which still have not adapted the JSON format documents, and in case you have to do the integrations or sharing of the information with those systems, then you have to adapt with the XML format based documents. So today in this video we will get an idea of like how to make the use of available XML based data types in the AL language, and by using them how we can deal with the XML based data. Alright, so this is the first video of this series where we will cover the XML based issues and the activities which the developer have to do with the XML document. Okay, so in this first series of this video we will learn about how to export the data in the XML based format from the Business Central using the AL language. So this is the current output which we want to generate from the system, and as you can see this sheet is having all the customer records which we are having in our customer table. So if you see all these lines one by one, so you can identify with it. So for example, this complete document is a XML document, and this first line is nothing but the XML declaration. Okay, so this is first line, which is XML declaration. Then we have added one node with the name table, and as you can see it is the parent of the customer node. So below it, this is the customer and this is the child of the table. So it has two attributes. First is that it is a child of the parent table, and second attribute is that customer node is the parent of number, name and balance. So as you can see from here that number, name, balance nodes are the child of the customer node. Then we close this customer and again another customer starts. So this means this second one is also the child of the parent node, which is table. Okay, and thus the things are going on until then you finish up every record in the customer table. So by using this concept we will build the program through which we could identify each line one by one and its use, and let's see how to generate all this data in a XML based document. So this is our Visual Studio Code. I have already created a page through which we will run one function which will generate this XML based data. Okay, so this is the page. Now let's create one code unit. This will be actually the main code unit for which let's say we will do our work, and I will name this that XML data testing. Let's remove this run trigger, create a procedure. Let's make it a global procedure and name it XML based testing. All right, now let's start it one by one. The first thing is that we need to create a XML based document, okay, which we can export directly from the Business Central. So we will create one variable which will be having of type XML document. So as soon as you type XML, you will be presented with so many data types which are related to the XML. Okay, so in this video we will learn about few of these data types, out of which the very first one, the important one, is XML document. Okay, So this itself means that I want to create the XML document from the Business Central. So that's why I am creating this variable. Okay, so now when I have done this, let's write a code. XML doc is equals to, I will use the XML document class and create, and it does not take any parameter. So place the semicolon and that's it. So this statement itself is saying that I want to create the XML document out from the business end. Okay, and I pass this to this variable. Okay, now the next thing is that now because I have already created one document which is of currently blank and does not have any data in it, let's input the data in that document. So the first line is that declaration. Okay, so I want to write this line in my XML document. So how to achieve that? For that, let's create another variable, and this time it will be of type XML declaration. Okay, because we know that we want to add the declaration in our document, so I have to create the variable out of it. So similarly, I will do the same thing, but this time I will use the XML declaration class, and let's add the create function. But if you see here, it takes 3 parameters. The first parameter is version, second parameter is encoding scheme, and third parameter is standalone. And see, it's itself suggesting the version of the XML is usually 1.0. So the first parameter will be version, the second parameter will be encoding scheme, and third parameter I will take it as blank. Okay, so now you have created the declaration and pass it to the XML dec variable. Still, this declaration is not added to the XML document. So how to add it? Let's type the variable name and see the functions available here, and you will find that one of the function here is set declaration. Okay, and it takes the parameter of declaration type. So we know that I have to pass this XML dec variable, and that's it. Either if you do not want to create the variable, you can directly pass this value, but obviously it does not look nicer, so that's why I'm creating variable and adding those to the main XML document variable. So this is how, with these 3 lines of code, I have successfully created the document and added a declaration in it. Alright, now let's move on to the second line, and the second line is saying that I have to add one root node, because see, this is the main node. Alright, so we can call it a root node. So I have to create a root node in the system. So for that, I have to first of all create the variable which will be of type XML element. Alright, these all nodes which you are seeing here are nothing but the elements of the XML document. So that's why I have added this variable. Now let's type the variable name, and we will use the XML element class and write the create, and it takes the text variable, and in the text variable, because I want the name table, so I will add the name table here. Okay, so whatever name or whatever text you provide here, it will show exactly like that in the document, and it will become your root node. Okay, so now I have created one root node, one XML element, and pass it to this variable, but still I have not added it in my XML document. So let's add it in your XML document. This time I will use the add function, and as you can see, it takes so many different types of parameters which are related to the XML. So this time I can add this root node. It will take that, And now if you see till this code, we have added this root node also by our code. So let's move on further and add these type of things. So first of all, as you can see, if I skip this part, then also we understand that it takes multiple customer nodes and multiple then number, name, balance nodes. So this means that I have to use the repeat until. Okay, so let's begin with that. First of all, for customer node, I will write or create another variable XML element. Okay, and also create one variable of record type customer. Anyways, we want the data, all the data of the customer table, so that's why I'm adding it here. Alright, so let's begin it further. So first of all, the thing is, let's add it customer dot find set. Alright, write it repeat, and here I want customer node in my data type, so in my document. So XML element dot create as customer. All right, now the second thing is that if you see the document, we have added this customer node. Still we have not added it first, so let me write like this, that XML, sorry, this time we will use the root node, because root node is our table. Okay, and we want all our customer nodes under the table. Okay, so that's why rather than writing the XML doc dot add parent node, it will be wrong, because parent node is the customer and I want it under the root node. So that's why I will write root node dot add parent node. Okay, so with this you have added this customer node under the table. Okay, now we want these nodes, number, name and balance. So if you see it, these number are the nodes and the data under it is the value of the customer table. Okay, so we want these two things. So this is the node which we can use it or add it via XML element data type, but this is the text, and because we want to add it as an XML text, so we will use the variable or data type XML text. So add it everything like it. First of all, I will use one variable of name field caption, then XML text data type. All right, now moving it further, let's add the value in the field caption variable. So we know we have one property called field caption in our table. So I will fetch the field caption of the number field and pass it to the field caption. Okay, now we note because these are the nodes, number, name and balance, and these are the child nodes. So let's add another node with the name child node, and it will again of type XML element. Alright, so child node is equals to XML element dot create field caption. Okay, so it will create the node of type number with the caption number. Okay, so let's add this node under the customer node, which is in our variable it's a parent node. So parent node dot add child node. Alright, but before that, once you add this line, system will create the data in the document like this: number. But where is the value? I have still not added it. So let's add this value in between of these nodes. So for that, we have XML text dot create customer dot number. Okay, and child node dot add XML txt. Alright, so in this manner we have added the value of our customer number in the child node, and child node we have added in the customer node. So this is how we are adding the values of the child nodes under the customer node. So with that, we are done with this first line. Now the same thing which we will now the same line of code we will write for the further values, name and balance. So what we need to do is, let's copy this code all right, and now here we will use the number, we will use a name, and here we will just change to name, and here we will use the balance and change it to balance. Okay. So for this thing, let me customer dot Kelsey fields balance. Okay, sorry. This is actually takes a text variable, and balance is not of the text variable. So what we can write like this. All right, and let's close the loop of repeat until with customer dot next equals to 0. All right, so see, now system will run all these code in a loop until it reaches to the last value of the customer master. So one by one these customer node will be added in the document like this one, and then same the number, name and balance nodes with the values. So like this only system will add everything in your XML document. Okay, so after writing all this code, we can see that our XML document is almost prepared. But how to view it, how to export it? So let's export this. And to export this, we know we have to add some of the standard code, which is like we have to add the code unit temp blob, in-stream document data types, outstream data type, okay, read text, which is of text type, then write text, which is of again the text type. Okay, so after the repeat until, the first thing is that let's create the in-stream, let's create the outstream. All right, now we know that we have one function available called download from stream, and it takes the following parameters: in stream, dialog title, text, which is of text type, then to folder, to filter, and another data type which is of text type. Okay, so we know I can write like this. For the rest of the parameters I can keep it blank until the last parameter, which will in our case read text. I've already added a text type. So this all it takes if you want to download the data from the stream, from the business central in our system. So we need this type of code, but still we have not passed our data which is available in the XML document variable to this in-stream variable. So let's pass that data. So for this, we know that all our data is available in this variable. So XML doc, if you see, we want to write whatever it has to outstream, right? Now outstream also have some functions. We will write it to the write text. Okay, now in stream will read the text from the write text, and that's it. We are done now. We have passed this information, whatever available in the XML doc variable, to the outstream. Then from the outstream we pass to the write text, and then from the write text we are reading the text into the in-stream, and then we are now streaming our data from the in-stream variable, right, to our document. Now read text is a variable. I have not passed any value here, so let's pass it. Let's name, you can pass the name of the file to this variable. So let's say customer what's the name. We can pass it like it is of I think XML based type now. So if we view the properties of it, so it's an XML document, right? So let's name it customer.xml, right? So system will download the data in a file which will be having a name customer.xml. all right, so the first thing is we added these variables. We now understand why we added all these data types, and we have seen the use of these data types, that what line is doing what. Okay, which line is doing what. So let's run this all code which we have written here from a page. So this is our page, and let me add my code unit here. XML data test. Okay, and test cu dot XML based testing. This is the name of our function, and let's add the message process finished. All right, so let's deploy this extension. Control Shift B. Okay, let me, I think because I've already imported, so just to avoid any sort of error if it comes, so I will let me delete the extension first, which I've already deployed, because maybe possible there is a possibility that the IDs which I've used, maybe it will generate some sort of error in the or during the deployment. So let's uninstall this, delete the extension data, yes, uninstall, yes. It is taking a bit time, guys. It totally depends on the speed of your system and the speed of the network. And although I'm running it on the local host, but still it is getting some bit of time. This is the problem which I always face in the web client. So you can consider it is one of the disadvantage of having a web client. So let's unpublish it also. Okay, so now let's deploy this. Press Ctrl F5, and so let's close this. We will reopen. So it has successfully deployed the package. Let's open the Business Central now in the browser. Again, it will take some bit of time. It actually depends, the speed actually depends on how optimized your server is, because obviously this is a local machine and it has so I'm hosting this web client from the IIS server, and which itself is taking the power from my system only. So does that's why I'm saying that how optimized your web client is and how well it is running it based on multiple parameters, out of which obviously the speed, the configuration of your server, how good it is, and network bandwidth, how good it is. So it based on these sort of parameters by which your web client runs smoothly. All right, so let's press the search bar, and again it will open up in a bit time. Come on, Business Central. Either I run it on the Microsoft Edge or the Google Chrome, almost the results like same. But when I run the cloud version, it runs very fast because it is running on the servers of the Microsoft on the Azure network. So that's why it runs fast. But whenever I make the projects on the on-premises version, it takes a bit time on accessing and using the Business Central web client because of the speed issues in the local system. So now it has opened up. So let's type the name of the page, which is XML test page. Select this, and now as you can see, this is a complete blank, but because we have added only the action, so this is our action. Click here and process is finished. If you go to the downloads, it is saying that it will harm your device. No, let's keep it. Now as you can see, it downloaded the file with the name customer.xml. Okay, so this is what which we wanted, and let's open the file using the notepad only. Click on OK and see, this is our declaration, this is our root node. Okay, this is our number, but again it closes the node. Then the output is not exactly which we wanted. So if we check it, we can see that it first create the declaration, then the root node, then the parent node, then the child node. But after the first child node, it closes the parent node and again started the parent node, then take only the name, then closes the parent node again, and then the balance, and so on. So this means the thing is that it is the name and the balance is not coming exactly after the number, but it is taking one child node and then closing the parent node and again creating the parent node. So let's see where we actually made the mistake. If we search it here, so under the repeat, we create the parent node, which is the customer, right? Then we add the customer node under the table node, which is the root node. Then we create the number, added the number in the child node and add that child node in the customer node. Okay, and here we again create the customer node. No. Okay, so that's why it is creating. So guys, as you can see, this is actually the issue which we have mistakenly done in the file, because we don't need this. First of all, you know what this code actually does is that as soon as you added this create line, system seems to understand that your old node, which is of having the same name of the customer and available in the same variable, is closed now. So that's why you can see that after the number, system close the customer to start the another instance of the customer with the name child node. Okay, so we don't need this. We need this only one time under the repeat until. We don't need it multiple times. So we have to delete this. And as you can see now, that first system will add the parent node, which is customer, add it under the root node, which is table. Then under the customer, system will create first the number, then the name, and then the balance, right? So all these things we are adding successfully in our parent node. This line, and this line we are adding under the parent node only. And once the complete record get accessed, then on the second record, system will again create the second node of the customer. Okay, so this is how we have to do the things. First of all, let me write here, rather than writing there, na, customer dot Kelsey field balance. Okay, so that it will actually generate the wrong output, so that's why I'm doing this. So here we will type customer dot balance only. Okay, so let's build this project first, then we will deploy again. Saying the package cannot be created because of syntax error. So where that syntax error is, okay, here we have to add one more bracket, and let's build the project again, deploy the project. Successfully deployed, and let's open this again. So what should I do here is that let me delete this, both files, and let's run the page again. XML test page, click on actions, click on export, process finished, go to downloads, click on keep, and now open using the notepad. And this is it which we wanted. System created one document with the declaration, with our root node, then this is our parent node, and exactly which we wanted. The number, name and balance are coming under one customer node, right? Then after the finishing up of number, name and balance, system closes the first parent node and then again created another node of the customer with the different record. And here comes, we have the number, name and balance. So guys, this is how we actually create the XML document out of the Business Central. And I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video and have managed to understand how to use the XML data types available in the AL language. And hope to see you in the next part of the video, where we will see how to import the XML based data available in the document into the Business Central. Okay, so till that, goodbye everyone, and I hope if you like this video, request you to please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching the video.